Man, I always knew I wanted to be two things in life, either a coroner or a chef. And growing up, I didn't see many black chefs. So I kind of thought it was reserved for, other people. And then in high school, my counselor told me I could never be a coroner. And I realized later that, I liked science, and, I liked how a coroner could find the body and tell you what happened to it. And then I later realized that, same thing, cooking is science. So you're taking something and transforming it to something else. So I guess it was just the science behind it, and that's kind of how I got into the product game and, cooking with cannabis, because the science behind it.
Right. So when you first started cooking, you immediately were using cannabis?
No.
Or the cooking started first?
The passion for cooking started, my dad was an entrepreneur, so, he got up at, he was gone at 6 a.m., and didn't come home till like 9 p.m. My mom had a full-time job, so it was a lot of like cooking and fending for ourselves. You know what I mean? Always make sure we had groceries.
Right, you just got to figure out how to whip it up. That was the science.
Right.
Okay.
And then I think it was about 1994, one of my buddies was having a pool party, and my uncle was a grower, and I used to watch him put cannabis and rubbing alcohol. They used to work out.
Okay.
And then I remember one time we were camping, and he made some rabbit, and he threw some bud in a barbecue sauce and let it simmer, and that's what they had.
Oh.
So one day I had a trash bag full. And this is the stress days before the chronic
right.
And having a pool party, we cooking barbecue, and I threw some weed in the barbecue, and nobody thought it would work. And this was on a Saturday. Saturday night, everybody was asleep. and got to school on Monday. It was the talk of the town, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I think I was like a junior in high school when I did that.
So that was your first time experimenting with cooking with it?
Cooking with it, yeah.
Because that was my next question.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you just threw it right in?
Just threw it right in, didn't decarb it, none of that shit, all the shit they said you had to do then. But it worked because, and talking about to the point where it's like, didn't even strain it. Talking about we took the stress when they used to come in bricks.
Right.
Had the black seeds in it.
Yeah.
You have to peel it apart. And, you know what I'm saying? We threw it in there, threw some, I had some leaves and shit. We threw it in there, let it simmer for about 30 minutes, and then nobody felt nothing until about 2 or 3 hours later. Party turned down.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So as far as cooking and also infusing the meals, like when did that go from like just a passion or a hobby to a full-on career for you?
I mean, like fresh after high school, I went to college and opened up a restaurant. I took my refund check, when everybody was doing everything, and my dad had a building and this guy had a restaurant there, but I knew he was behind on his rent, so I told him, my dad told me to lock it up and take the keys and you got to leave everything in it. He did. I took my little $4,000-$5,000 refund check and went and bought groceries and reopened that motherfucker up under a new name. And at 21, I think it was like 20, that was like my first start, if you know what I mean. And I just got in there and just did it how I could do it. It's funny today when I run into friends from college, they say, man, we probably would have starved to death if you didn't have that restaurant, because my thing was, we all here together, we gonna eat. If you can pay me, but I ain't finna let nobody go hungry. So pay what you can, run the tab.
Get me back when you can.
Help wash some dishes or do something. You know what I'm saying? And it's good to know when I run into people, they be like, man, I can't repay you enough for what you did, helping me get through my college days, and that's good enough for me. You did?